Welcome back. I'm Tia Turnbull, your champion of champions. You are watching Keep It 100, and right now you're learning passive, assertive, aggressive. What's the difference between passive, assertive, aggressive? When a person takes a passive stance, they are not looking out for themselves. They just let other people walk all over them. So when we're talking about the discussion of needs, a passive person says, oh no, let me help you meet your needs, but I don't have any needs. I don't need to get my needs met. So when someone's in a passive stance, they'll have other people get their needs met, but they won't get their own needs met. So when someone's in a passive stance, other people are getting their needs met, but they're not, which means that a passive person often ends up in resentment because they're not getting their own needs met while other people are getting their needs met. Okay, think about a mother who's always taking care of her kids, and then the kids grow up and move out, but nobody's asking her, what is it you want? What is it you need? Because she just got used to just letting everybody else get their needs, taking care of everybody else's needs, and not looking inside herself and saying, what is it I want? What is it I need? Okay, so that's passive. Taking a passive stance often ends up in resentment. Okay, now assertive. Assertive is where there is balance, where I'm getting my needs met, you're getting your needs met. There's mutually beneficial agreements where everybody gets their needs met. So there's not an imbalance where one person's taking advantage of another person, or one person's giving up everything and accommodating the other person. Accommodation would be passive, and assertive is where mutually beneficial agreements happen, because I'm telling you what I want and need, you're telling me what you want and need, and things are getting done in a balanced way. Okay? So assertiveness leads to mutually beneficial agreements. And to assert oneself is to put what it is you're thinking out to other people. Whereas a passive would hold it inside and not tell anybody. An assertive would bring it out and let somebody know. But they'd let somebody know in a cooperative way, in a courteous way, in a considerate way. They wouldn't say, you have to, and they would just speak in an even tone, rational, calm, let somebody know, but they're not competing for it, and they're not giving up on it. They're just bringing it out there so everybody can see in a way that's easy to take, easy to listen to. Okay? Now aggressive. Aggressive is when I get my needs met, but I don't care about your needs, and I don't care if you get your needs met. So aggressive would be like a win-lose attitude. Oh yeah, where a passive would be a lose-win, an aggressive would be a win-lose, and an assertive would be a win-win. Okay? So in aggressive, I will do what I need to do to get my needs met, and not think about your needs, and not care about your needs, and not listen to you when you tell me you have needs. And so an aggressive person will often end up alone or being resented. Okay. The thing about someone who takes a passive stance is they're often going to end up passive aggressive. I don't know that there is actually something called a passive stance that can sustain itself for a long time. Why? Because someone who's passive eventually ends up feeling angry because they're not getting their needs met. And then what they will do is, I'm sure you've heard this term before, passive aggressive. And what passive aggressive is where someone feels like they don't have power. They will use little snide remarks, or they will get their way by sneaking around or by talking about someone behind their backs. So they're not aggressive in someone's face, but because they may be scared or they don't feel they have the power, they're going to take that anger out, that resentment out in passive ways. So it's passive aggressive. They're being aggressive. It's kind of like people who pull the rug out from under you. They won't tell you up front, no, I prefer not to do that. They'll just do it, And then they'll be angry at you because they gave in to you, and so they will go behind your back and maybe eat your food when you're not looking, or gossip about you behind your back, or play music really loud, or come home late, or not keep their commitments. So they're doing things, but they're not telling you that they're doing it because of the anger that they feel about not getting their needs met. Passive-aggressive people also do things like show up late for work because they think they're getting back at you for something without telling you to your face the reason that they're mad at you, because they don't feel like they have the power to actually stand up and talk about it. They don't feel like they have the power to assert themselves. They don't feel like they have the power to collaborate with someone. So the way they get back at people is by going behind their back and maybe stealing something, or like I said, showing up late for work. So if your boss is a jerk, then you show up late for work and they say, hey, you weren't here on time, and you go, oh, well, this happened and that happened. But you don't say, I didn't care if I was on time because you treat me like crap, and I could give a crap about your success, so that's why I'm late. Because that would be aggressive maybe. But they're actually being passive-aggressive because they have to hide the fact that they don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to get what you want. So they don't tell you up front. They might make commitments to you and not keep them. They'll say, yeah, I'll be there, and then not show up. Or I'll do that, and then not do it. And then when you ask them about it, they just ignore or don't talk about it or don't give you any reason, because they're not assertive people and they're not going to tell you up front. So that's what passive-aggressive is. It's people being aggressive but in sneaky ways because they can't deal with it up front because they feel like they don't have the power to deal with it. So that is passive, assertive, aggressive, and of course, this is where you want to live. You assert yourself in a courteous way. You ask for people to help you get your needs met. You tell them what it is you need. You tell them what it is you want. You don't passively expect everybody to assume what you want. You don't passively expect everybody to mentally figure out what it is you want. You assert yourself and you say, here's what I want, here's what I need, and you talk about it. And you're not doing it in an aggressive way. You're not demanding and threatening and telling people if they don't do it, they're going to have consequences. You're just asserting to let people know what it is that you need and you want. And that's where you want to live. Asserting yourself as an assertive person, not a passive person who gets walked on, or an aggressive person who walks on others. You want to meet people in the middle in a balanced way so everybody can get their needs met, and in kind, compassionate ways, and vocally say what it is you need and want. Okay, that's passive, assertive, aggressive, and passive aggressive. And I am Tia Turnbull, your champion of champions. This is Keep It 100. If you like to see more of these videos when they come out, hit the like, subscribe, and tap the bell, and you'll be notified when they come out. In the meantime, champion yourself to be a champion.